Twisha Christian, coming to you with an update on the global currency reset, the Dinar RV. Now, folks, we've gone through the summer and there's only like 50 something days left in the election. And I've shared with you folks that they do not want this president to be reelected. And you're going to start to see things fall like dominoes. And you're going to see it actually on both sides. You know, our economy, the Dow, everything that's going on with that, we all know that it's being propped up by the Federal Reserve. And at some point, that part of that is going to crumble. The housing market is falling apart. With people not paying rent all over the United States, especially in the New York area, a lot of banks are invested in the housing market. The debt is skyrocketing. It's like up to $258 trillion. $258 trillion that they created out of thin air. And folks, it's just a matter of time before some of these things start to crumble. You need to keep your eye on what Russia's doing, China's doing. You see what's going on in the Middle East, their economy is falling apart. And that's why you see a rush to sign agreements with Israel, because they are going to be a strategic partner in the future. And there's going to be a trigger. And what is that trigger? At the beginning of the global currency reset, the Dinar RV, what is a trigger? And I've shared it with folks, and I'm going to play it for you here really quick right now.
Therefore, there shall be a break in the financial system in the Middle East, the dinar, and many shall say, why? Why now? But God said, when things seem at their worst, I shall bring it forth, and I shall free them up.
When things seem at their worst, that is when the global currency reset is going to take place. And folks, we thought we had it with the whole virus. And what it did is it accelerated the decline of the stock market. It accelerated the decline of the world economy under the central banking system. Kim Clement said that the banking system was going to crash, crash, crash. That's what we're looking for. We're also looking for some type of crash in the economy. We're looking for some type of new system to take form and shape to replace the old system. Now, a lot of people talk about the gold standard. You know, some people say 50%, 40%. And I don't think that this new system is just going to be entirely based off of just gold. It's going to be a new system. So in everything that Kim Clement said, he never talked about any type of gold standard system, at least that I could find right now. And he didn't say that. And we think that, you know, I see a lot of things all over the place across the internet concerning the global currency reset, Nasara, Dinar RV. And one of the things that a lot of speculation is based off of our current fiat system. We're not going to go to a fiat. We're not going to stay on the fiat system or the petrodollar. Now, some type of asset-based currency probably will include oil reserves and gold reserves and all the other things that however they do it. But this old system is going to go away, so we can no longer base speculation. You know, it doesn't matter. There have been countries, the economies have been booming for years, and yet the value, there is no rate change. And there was some talk of some type of revaluation through the central banking system. You know, one of the ways they could try to strike back is try to revalue under their system. But that's not what happens. And folks, they do not want this president to be reelected. In the things that I've seen, there's a lot of people that do not want the Mr. E revelations come out. There's a lot of wealthy and financial people, whether they are popular or actors or musicians or politicians or people who are just wealthy and not in the limelight, doctors, lawyers on all levels, and they will do everything. If they can, if wealthy people can manipulate the market to go up and down, right? The President of the United States said, he talked about the rich guys and how they manipulate the market. And when these revelations start coming. See, they want this thing to fall like dominoes. Just as easy as they can start pulling all their money out of the stock market, they can flood the market with gold and break that price. They can flood the market with silver. I mean, the central banks, they don't want to go to a new system. So why wouldn't they want to flood the market with gold? Especially if they don't want this president of the United States. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's going to happen. And that's the same thing with the crypto markets. What if all these wealthy people start selling off? They just don't want to pull one part of the system down. They want to pull all of it down. And if they even think they know that he's trying to go to a gold standard. The media's talked about it. They've had hearings about it, with Judy Shelton, and they talked about it. So they know that they know the plan. So folks, all I'm saying is that there's not that much time in the election, and I can really foresee a lot of events happening really quick, really fast. And there is no fear, because it's one of these situations where I'm like, okay, I know what's coming. As long as my household and the ones that I love and care about are taken care of, I'm not worried, and I'm not worried for them. We just don't go do stupid things like go out to a protest or anything like that. I'm not going to put myself into that position. I know my political positions, and the same political establishment that is crying and complaining today that nothing has changed are the same ones that are telling you to vote for them. And I think, this whole thing with Mr. E, if there's a lot of revelations of people who are currently in office, you're going to see people drop out of races, or you're going to see people resign. And you are seeing a lot of the elements of the government that it has changed over the last year. But just like, like in Iraq right now, there's a lot of things going on. They're going after the corrupt. They're trying to do this whole thing with the economic reforms. And folks, it's not going to happen until when things seem at their worst. The central bank can do whatever it's going to do. They can talk. Since I've been in this thing, the Central Bank of Iraq has always talked about changing the exchange rate. You can go back to news articles from 2011 through 2015. They were talking about $1. They were talking about $3 and $3.22 and all this other stuff. There were so many things that were said, and we're hearing the same thing now. All right, and we know this. People right now in the world most people don't see a need for change. Everybody here listening to this video knows that we need this whole system needs to be changed. But the masses don't. It's just like people don't see what's going on with Israel and all the peace deals. And all that has to do with, a lot of it has to do with gas and oil, folks. So let's hope that let's hope that, Iraq does go after the corrupt, like they said that they're going to, and really deal with that. But I think that you're going to find out that in the end, after all the revelations, I think you're going to find out that the previous leaders in Iraq were really heavily involved in a lot of things that were so bad and allowing their country to be taken over. And I think at some point that will be dealt with. But we have to see the banking system. It's like the banking system. Folks, right now we have to see, especially the banking system, we have to see that fall. And it is falling, especially in the other countries. A lot of American banks have lost a lot of money in the Middle East over the last year, right? You can see Saudi Arabia and these other countries, they're taxing their people now. They're not getting all the benefits they had for free off of basically American oil. Basically off of Americans, because we were the ones feeding the Middle East. Now, if for whatever reason, if Biden gets in and he's going to stop all the drilling here in the United States, well, where's all the money that we spend going to go to? It's going to go back to the Middle East instead of here. So that's one of the big differences that people don't allow to understand, that we should have had here in the United States, and for any other country that has done the same thing. When they have their own oil, if you live in a country that has a lot of its own oil reserves, but yet we're still sending your money over to the Middle East, then you were affected too. Because that's why the Saudi Arabians, they get free health care, free college, super cheap gas. I think I even went in one of those countries, everybody got a free phone. And now because of the economy and how things are going, they're requiring those citizens to pay. It's socialism, but it's a loyalty socialism. But all those things should have been happening in your country and in this country. We should have had free healthcare. We should have had free college, cheap gas, and enjoy all the benefits that they have been enjoying off of the Americans for the last 50 years. So the trigger point is when things seem at their worst. And look, I said on both sides, because you're going to see revelations on Mr. E and all that. You have the one side attacking the president in every which way that you can. I mean, you just have this big information battle going back and forth. And they're going to have to start the domino effect at some point. There's not that much time left. People can start voting now. People can start absentee voting now. So things are going to start changing. But you have all these things that are happening. But there's the one thing, and this is my opinion, and I've said that, what does Kim mean when things seem at their worst? Okay, we know the economy, right? That's one of the biggest things. The banking system, right? He talked about the crash of the banking systems, right? And then I explained in a previous video about the impending plan that was laid out by Kim Clement about what's going to happen with Iran and Israel, and that there's going to be an attack, and people are going to think that it's biblical prophecy being fulfilled at this point. But he said it's almost like it's a prelude to what's going to take place. And I believe that that's when things seem at their worst. That's going to be another piece of the entire puzzle. But these countries don't have that much time. They know that if he's reelected, he's going to wield a lot of power. And it's almost like if you guys ever watched growing up He-Man, where he lift up the sword, he says, and I have the power, and he would change into, he went from Adam to He-Man, and that's exactly what's going to happen with this president. And especially with all these revelations of Mr. E, and a lot of people start falling out of the limelight, you're having a power transfer, right? The president does have a lot of power right now, but in that second term, we'll be able to wield a lot more power. So folks, right now I'm at the point where I'm still waiting for all these events to happen, and I don't have any fear, and you shouldn't either. And just as long as you know everything is taken care of, and it's only going to be a short period of time, folks. It's going to be quick, right? The recovery is going to be quick when all this takes place, because they've already been shaping and forming the new economy. They've already been shaping and forming the new system that they want to put in. So folks, don't be, I was recently joined some Nasara, different groups of Nasara and stuff, and I really thought that the Dinar community was bad on dates, but I really see that it's people are still doing that. There's still people relying on dates, and that's totally amazing considering the amount of time and effort in the information that has flowed, and all the mistakes that we've seen, and all the mishaps with this whole global currency reset, that we are still seeing the same kind of information get out. And so like I said, keep your eyes on Russia, China, and the whole thing with everything that's going on with Israel, Iran. Mostly everybody's already watching Iraq, pretty much, who are listening to this. But you're seeing some changes, and you're going to see some changes come really fast. So just hold on. You're going to see all these things take place. The trigger is when things seem at their worst. All right, thank you folks for listening. Like I said, if you guys like these videos, there's support links down below for the Patreon. Stay safe, God bless, and with that being said, Twisted Christian out. Now folks, if you like these videos that I make, please support us on the Patreon. We do have a Grigori animated project going on there, and we're trying to raise funds for that, and we're moving along. And I really thank you guys for those who do support, but the link is down below in the description. If you'd like to see these stories get out, please check out the link and the information in the description.